Update. Am I the idiot for not asking my father to walk me down the aisle? Original post. I, 27, female, am engaged, planning to get married to my partner, 30, female, of 3 years next year. Since I came out as bi, when I was 15, my dad hasn't been supportive of me. He was upset when I first told him about my fiancée and has made it clear he doesn't approve of me being with a woman. He's very distant when I take her to my parents' home for dinner, and won't talk to her when making conversation at the dinner table. When my fiancée isn't around, he's made a lot of subtle cutting comments about her/our relationship despite me telling him to back off. He makes it very clear in general that he doesn't see her as family. Basically, he's been casually homophobic my entire life. You know the type. He's not providing any financial support for the wedding, and when I asked if he would actually be attending the wedding, he just gave me a snide. "We'll see." So I honestly wasn't even expecting he would turn up. Part of our intended wedding ceremony will involve me being walked down the aisle and given away. I enjoy a lot of the classic wedding traditions, and that's one I really want to carry out. I assumed my dad wouldn't want to walk me down the aisle. To be honest, I don't want him to either, so I asked a male friend, 58, male, instead, 1 week ago. This man has known me for almost half my life. He's like a mentor to me and honestly has been more of a father figure to me than my actual dad has. I love him like a paternal figure. We met when I was 16. He was teaching an acting class I signed up for. We both work in theater. He's provided lots of emotional support over the years and been openly supportive of my relationship from the start. He has 2 sons around my age and has said before he sees me a bit like the daughter he never had. He said he'd be honored to give me away. My dad learned of this fact recently. I'm not sure how. He's furious. He says I'm undermining his authority as a parent and making him look like an a-hole/fool to everyone who attends the wedding, and if I insist on going through with this, he won't attend at all. There's no way he's going to sit at a table and watch some other man give me away. He's pissed I didn't ask him. After he said that, I asked if he would have said yes. He dodged the question and yelled at me and eventually hung up on me. I admit I didn't consider asking him, and I honestly didn't see the need to. I guess it'll be embarrassing for my dad if he comes, but considering his behavior towards me and my fiancée over the course of our relationship, I don't feel like he's justified to make this demand. Am I the a-hole for not asking my actual dad to walk me down the aisle? No, OP, you're not the idiot. Unfortunately, your father don't accept your relationship. Unfortunately, he doesn't accept his daughter, that's the truth. And unfortunately, this happens. The fact that OP doesn't want to ask him to walk down the aisle with her, at her wedding, is yet another fact of how distant they are. And because of that, he's going to miss a big milestone in his daughter's life, and who knows if this relationship will ever be able to mend later. I hope you and your fiancé have a great wedding, OP. Full of people who support you in this new path you two will start. It's also not wrong that you only want to invite people who are supportive of who you are and your relationship. Whether if they are blood relatives, friends, or family you made along the way. What matters is that you have by your side people who care about you and want to see you happy. Good luck, OP. Not the idiot. Walking your daughter down the aisle is a privilege, not a right. And his behavior has ensured that he is not deserving of that privilege. Not the idiot. Your father has done nothing to support your relationship. He has shown a complete lack of respect for your partner. He doesn't get to cause unnecessary drama on your big day. Congratulations on the upcoming wedding. Not the idiot. If he's not willing to support you, why should he get the perks of being a supportive parent? He's not entitled to your wedding. Not the idiot. He sounds narcissistic. Me, what will they all think of me? Not once did he care about anyone else. I hope he doesn't show up because this might end up in a disaster. Has made it clear he doesn't approve of me being with a woman. End of story, not the idiot. making him look like an a-hole/fool to everyone who attends the wedding. Homophobic in private, wants to act like an angel in public, he only cares about himself. He won't attend at all. He doesn't approve your relationship anyway, so it's already nice he's invited at all. And what do you guys think? What would you do if you were OP? Now let's go to the update. Update. Hi, I posted here 3 years ago. This update is obviously long overdue, but things have been intense the past few years, so I forgot about this account for a long time. I remembered it while browsing some other subreddits, and thought I would share my update because things are better than I ever thought they could be back in 2020. So the pandemic obviously scuppered our wedding plans. It was meant to be in January 2021, but by that time our country still wasn't in stable enough condition to throw the big wedding with friends and family we wanted. I also lost my job because my company closed, so we wanted to watch our budget. My dad got sick early in the pandemic, and it was bad enough that he ended up in hospital. Visiting rules were very strict, and only my mom could visit him, and they were both actually really scared he might die. He didn't, but it affected him for a long time afterward. He started going back to church when things opened up a bit. Both my parents are Catholic, but my mom was always the more religious one. He was a bit more lapsed, and you guys will not believe this. My wife and I were shocked. That was what made him realize he was a bit of a homophobic a-hole. The church he went to is quite progressive and is big on the whole, accept everyone exactly as they are because that is how God made us and only God can judge stuff. And the almost dying from the virus thing apparently gave him a different outlook on things. Cut a long story short, we started seeing each other more. We had a lot of long emotional talks. He slowly started apologizing to me and my wife for being an a-hole, including the wedding thing. And we are now closer than we have been since I was a teenager. Both he and my mentor were at our makeup wedding last year. We ended up making the ceremony a lot less formal than planned because I guess living through the pandemic gave us different outlooks too. My wife and I just wanted to have a fun time and not care too much about strict traditions. So we ended up walking down the aisle together while all our family and friends sat and watched and cheered. LOL. Things are good. We have dinner with my parents at least once a month, and it's awesome. I found a better job and we're more financially stable now and thinking about having kids. I'm excited. Thanks. Am I the idiot? For the judgments and responses back then, and I guess I want to tell everyone that sometimes things work out even when you don't expect them to. Life can surprise you, so look forward to those surprises. Oh my God, OP. I really didn't expect this update. I'm sorry your dad got sick, but thank God he came to his senses and realized what an ass he was being and ruining the relationship between the two of you. And what great news that even after all the problems, you managed to have your wedding party and kept your family. I'm very happy for you. Wow, that was a great update. Did you guys like it? Leave your comments down below. And of course, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications to know when a new video is out. Now let's go to the next story. Am I the idiot for telling my daughter her dad doesn't always think of others? I, 36, female, share my wonderful daughter Hazel, 12, female, with my ex Ulrich, 37, male. He's been in and out of her life since she was a baby. He pays child support, but gave me full custody and doesn't have any set schedule for seeing her. He works as a long-distance trucker, owner-operator, so he's all over the country for work and Hazel only gets to see him in person a few times a year. Normally, she really looks forward to seeing him, which is why this current situation hurts so much. Ulrich's taken her on holiday before. Over Christmas, he wanted to have her for a week, and took her to visit a city on the other side of the country. She spent a long time researching the place, things she wanted to see and do, only to come back to me in tears. Turns out, he spent most of the days talking to some of his clients and arranging future work, and left her in to her own devices in the hotel room with some money and instructions to not go outside the local area in the city. On the fourth day, she'd had enough and caught the bus to go visit a museum she really wanted to see. He got back before she did and worried. They had a big fight, and she was grounded for the remainder of the trip. I've talked to her about not running off like that, but I also think he was wrong for leaving her like that and told him as much, not in front of her. He promised me he'd do better, and Hazel he'd drop in over Easter and take her on a better trip to make up for it. Except he hasn't, and after weeks of radio silence, he texted me this week to admit he won't be in town for another 2 months, and even then it's only a maybe. Hazel didn't take it well, obviously. She thinks it's her fault he doesn't want to see her, because she ran off. On the spot I did my best to comfort her, but there's only so many times she's willing to trust me when I say her dad needs to work. So I told her gently that her dad's not avoiding her, and it's not her fault. He's just busy and he forgets to think of others sometimes. But she wanted to know when he'd be back, and all I could tell her was maybe 2 months, I don't know. She seemed as okay as she could be afterwards, and I've been trying to make things up to her as best I can without my ex. But today, I got a call out of the blue from Ulrich's mother of all people, absolutely chewing me out for what I said. Apparently she's been texting Hazel, who told her what I said, and now she blames me for throwing her son under the bus and bad-mouthing him to our daughter because I said he doesn't always think of others' feelings. I've had a long angry text from Ulrich himself since, saying the same, and it's making me worry I said something I shouldn't have. No, OP, you are not being an idiot. Your ex is. In this kind of situation, it's best to be honest with your daughter. Trust me, I was that kid once. And the feeling of thinking that your father purposefully doesn't want to spend time with you, because of something you did or didn't do, or just because of who you are, is awful. You helped your daughter, and best of all, you told her the truth. Now, if her dad can't admit this failure of his to his daughter, that's his problem. And his mother, who apparently doesn't see a problem with a father going months without seeing his kid. Keep doing the best for your daughter, she will thank you later. Not the idiot. You told your daughter the truth without actually bashing her dad or saying anything overly hateful or spiteful. The truth hurts sometimes, and the truth isn't always enjoyable to hear, but it's important because truth is what reality is based on. Not the idiot. How often does grandma come visit? Tell her she raised a son with shit priorities. Not the idiot. She's 12 now and getting her own views of him despite the candy coating you've applied previously. You didn't flat out say, your dad sucks and because he continues to break promises and hurt you, he'll never get better, because he's a selfish prick. You gave a 12 years old an age-appropriate explanation of why her father is hurting her emotionally. Not the idiot. You generally don't want to badmouth an ex to your kid, but his abandonment of her without communication was causing her to feel that she was the one who caused it. She had to know that she was the victim of neglect, not the cause of it. If Ulrich's mother had better ways of expressing things in order to preserve the image of her son, why didn't she text those to her before you had to explain? If Ulrich's so good at contacting you regarding his hurt feelings, why wasn't he good at contacting her to keep her informed of his life and his plans to see her? Not the idiot. Deadbeat and deadbeat's mom are mad you called a deadbeat a deadbeat. The only other option you had is to lie to your daughter and give her false hope only for her dad to disappoint her again. Side note, something like what her dad did is similar to what the last straw for me with my dad was. He strong-armed my mom into letting him have me for 1 week of my 2-week spring break, and then he was working the whole time except for one day where we went to the park for a couple hours. I was like, he didn't actually want to do anything with me. He just wanted me for the sake of having me. I was about the same age as your daughter and there was no court order. Only a mutual agreement between my parents, so I just stopped going. Don't make any excuses for this guy. I know firsthand what it's like to be jerked around by a parent who doesn't actually care, and it's awful. Edit. Someone else said everyone sucks here and I'm going to have to agree. This guy left your 12-year-old daughter to roam an unknown city by herself. You should not let him have any unsupervised visitation with your daughter, and definitely don't let him take her on another vacation. And what do you guys think about this situation? Have you ever been through or witnessed something similar? Leave your comments down below. Well, that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.